it almost seems like it's by design.
Well,
The never payment.
yeah.
Potentially.
Well, I mean, who's making the money,
Potentially.
right? At the end of the
Yeah.
day, a lot of people are essentially paying interest and not really getting ahead, right? And I think
Yeah.
that's a risk.
And that, I mean, there are, I guess, two sides to the coin, where the bank is in the business of making money. So
Yeah,
if
that's right.
within their rules they can lend this much, they will go after and they will lend this much. At the end of the day, it's up to the consumer to be in charge of their personal finance. I mean, it's hard when someone kind of put the carrots in front of your nose, going like, "Hey, here's money, 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 money," and you go for it. But at the end of the day, people, that's your decision.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
If
that's
you
true.
choose, if you choose to
and
be
it comes down to
helpful,
financial literacy, does it not?
It does, and it's a big thing that we will do is educate our clients through our home buyers guide that I brought today. And
This is really cool. So yeah, what exactly is in the home buyers guide? This is a great.
What the home
great tool.
buyers does is we go through and look at the step-by-step process of buying a house, what you should be looking at, and that consists of getting a great realtor, coming in and getting pre-approved. When you make that purchase, you want to get a home inspection. If it's a condo, be able to get a condo company to go in and review the documents. And then we have things of what to expect when you move in. You've got legal costs, you're going to be moving, there's costs associated with that, and really be able to spend the time at the pre-approval process to educate the client. This is what you afford on the top end. This is going to be more comfortable for you.
Yeah.
And then being able to put an action plan in place for them to go in confidence to work with their realtor.
And I think that's a real service. I think that is a real service. I think there's outfits that are providing mortgages that are not taking those steps, and they aren't letting people know, like, this is the reality of your situation. Real quick, I want to touch on mortgage fraud. We've seen, of course, it was in the news a little while ago, huge multi-million-dollar mortgage fraud scheme. It just seems that it's so easy for people to go to sell their home and find out, I've got a second mortgage on my home. It's my signature on there. Of course, I didn't sign that paper. I mean, it just seems far too easy. Do we need new laws in place to protect people from mortgage fraud?
That's a good question. We need tougher laws.
Tougher laws,
is
sure.
what I think, that don't get hung up in the courts, that take 2 or 3 years, 5 years for someone to be brought to justice. And at the same time, when those laws are not in place, we have to look at educating consumers that maybe they should be doing a search on their property every year to be able to see where it is. No different than Equifax, where Equifax encourages you to monitor your credit.
Yeah.
I think that's something that could be put in place. And the other side is title insurance. Title insurance is a great tool. You can get different levels of it that protect against fraud.
You think that's down the pipe, Suzanne?
Yeah, I do. I think that's going to become a lot more commonplace. It's very commonplace in the U.S., and you're hearing about it more and more and more now in our market.
And in Canada, I mean, I can't remember the stat exactly with Alberta, but a lot of homes in Alberta are mortgage free, which means technically there's really nothing on title.
Yeah.
So it's very attractive for people that like to do fraud to go after these. So title insurance, reviewing your title will definitely be key items. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's bad people everywhere. Just kind of, they just happen to find that one niche. So we just need to find a way of protecting people better.
Just be savvy, right? Be careful, do your homework. That's
We
fair.
find some clients just get a line of credit put on their house and don't use it.
Yeah.
That's what we see quite common happen. So
We're going to jump to another break and check in with the Rand Pack folks. Stay with us.
Here's my advice for first-time homeowners. The first thing you do is get your credit in order. Make sure that all of your debts are paid up to date in R1 position. If you don't know what that is, call somebody and find out. Good credit does not mean you have a lot of credit. It means you manage a couple of trades, meaning 2 credit cards, really well. The second thing is a home is a great part of your investment strategy. It should be in your plan. If you don't intend to live in there, that's fine. Rent it out, have a line of income coming into you. Good stuff.
Now, guys, currently there's no secret. Interest rates are really low. Are they record low?
they're record low.
Are they record low? Okay, so you can probably, if you shop around hard enough, you can find a 5-year fixed rate, south of 3%.
Yeah.
Which is great. Great. Now, mind you, housing prices, of course, continue to rise. So you want that balance. How crucial is timing when purchasing a home in order to maximize your dollar?
I don't think there's really a right answer.
No.
And The way I look at this is, for example, when we, like years ago, when we sold our condo, we sold at the peak, which was great, but then we also bought at the peak, which was not so great. So at the end of the day, I know I'm going to be in Calgary for a long time, and if I need to move up or move down, I just go with the flow per se. It's a very tough one. I don't think anyone can really time the market. Right now, obviously, there's a lack of supply, so things are tightening up, but in 6 months, it could be a little different. So,
would there ever be a time when somebody comes in to sign a mortgage, you say, you know what, it might be in your best interest to maybe give it a bit and see what happens type thing? Or if they're ready to sign the mortgage, that's their decision. You're ready to go as well.
You know, one of the things we're advisors in terms of advice is critical for our clients. And if we've got some information that we can share with our client to help with a better informed decision, absolutely we'll take the time to do that. But, you know, we find with real estate, personal preference, what they can afford, and yes, what their goals and dreams are, people figure out how to get there.
Yeah, that's true. Now, Suzanne, we touched on a little bit earlier, condos. The average condo is actually $340,000 in Calgary, which to me was a bit of a shocker.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said earlier, a lot of people get into condos and they don't really realize what they've gotten into.
No.
And when I say that, I mean, well, there's a whole lot of rules and regulations that people maybe don't realize. When I bought my condo, I utilized the service, and I paid a few bucks. I think I paid about $500 for which was essentially a document package. Now, what that document package has was it had the financial statements, you know, like you say, operating costs. It had a look at the reserve fund, the money available, and then it had the condo bylaws, which is, you know, about that thick.
Yes.
Anyway, point being is that I learned after the fact that parking was a huge issue. I like to have you know, people over, I like to entertain guests.
Yeah.
I'm allotted 2 parking spaces. Pardon me, 2 parking passes. If I have a guest that stays, you know, a couple of days, they're considered a resident. It's been a real headache, in all honesty.
Yeah.
As far as that regard, how do you educate people to ensure they know what they're getting?
You know, there isn't a really straightforward answer to that for us, because by the time those people become our clients, they already own their unit. And that's when they're starting to rub up against those kinds of issues.
Oh, I see. So you're actually after the fact.
Yeah, we are a little bit, but what we try to do is work with our boards of directors and our clients to build a policy manual. We send that out along with the bylaws. So you'll be able to see what the parking regulations are at a property that we manage. So we're kind of forced in a way to educate people using paper as opposed to conversing with them or broadcasting some sort of message about what it means to own a condo in this particular property, which is a little bit restrictive, but we do get as much of the messaging out as we possibly can, and every time we have an opportunity to talk to someone in the buying process, we spend a lot of time with them so that we're trying to help them understand exactly what it is they're buying, because we don't want unhappy clients.
No, and I imagine it's a bit more delicate with condo buyers, is it?
And it comes down also to the agent. Some people specialize in condos, and some people specialize in townhouse or rural. But at the end of the day, part of the agent role is to find out exactly what the client is looking for. So for example, if you tell me you like to entertain and you need parking passes, it's like, okay, well, we need to definitely
I mean, that's
keep
the thing.
track
People
of that.
have to feel empowered. They're paying you $1, they got to be able to put you to work, right? Guys, I want to thank you all very much for being here today.
You're welcome.
It was a good discussion, guys. Thanks again.
Absolutely.
Folks, that's all the time we've got. By all means, if you've got something you'd like us to discuss, don't be a stranger. Get at us on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Let us know. Until next time, take care.